show.
All right, got you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestling Summit. I know if you just like I am, you're catching your breath. What a great WrestleMania. I'm still catching mine. I don't even have asthma. I'm looking for the inhaler. You know what I mean? But I'm catching my breath. Great WrestleMania from the top to the bottom. Oh man, great card. Champions one. We saw a new World Heavyweight Champion. We saw tag team titles retained. We saw Big Show finally win the Andre, his first Battle Royal. It is a great show, fellas. Y'all thoughts while I catch my breath. Woo, boy.
Man, am I live? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Brother Mike, Brother Clint, can you hear me? Oh, my goodness. Man, you guys know, I told everybody, WrestleMania 30, my favorite WrestleMania of all time. I'm going out on the record and saying, for the first time, on record, after it's been complete, right here on the Wrestler Summit, Wrestle at Twitter, at Wrestle_Summit. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited.
Right. Yes,
this
okay.
was the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Look, I spent about approximately 45 days watching all of them. I think I have a right to make that comment. This was the greatest WrestleMania of all time. We had legends came home, legends went away. We seen The Undertaker. We see Seth Rollins catch in the middle of the match. Where they do that at?
Brian, I got to agree with you. I have to agree with you. First, let's just rewind each other, people. That's G-Lo, Glenn. That's Mr. Main Event. I'm Mike Knox, people. I spelled my name with 3 X's, but you already know that. Mr. Main Event, I have to agree with you, man. I sat here and I watched it. You know how the other world kind of gets into our membrane and we start doubting what we're watching? Not tonight. I'm sorry. Not tonight. Like you said, we had legends come. We had legends go. We had surprises. We had young stars. We had old stars. And before tomorrow hits and everybody wants to pick this thing apart, let's talk about tonight. And tonight was great. Seth Rollins catching in a triple threat fashion. I didn't see that coming. I believe you said it all fair. This is your words. This came from WWE 2K storyline. I seen this in a storyline in my video game, Mr. Main Event. That's what we had right now. I'm happy as a sports fan.
I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Yo, I'm just happy, excited, ecstatic. Hey, but we know we had a pre-show. We'll get to the rest of that stuff towards the end. We had a pre-show. Mike, your boys, the Usos, hometown, started to show off. Hey, let everybody know what the tag team title, because they hit the show off nice. But I don't want to steal thunder from you.
No, nothing to steal at all. This is our night. Welcome to the Wrestling Summit, where we get in, where we fit in, where we all come together, good minds, good folks from all facets of loving wrestling coming together to form one summit. The pre-show, the kickoff show, if you will, so to speak, it did the Usos. Now, we knew that Jey Uso had a shoulder problem, was not able to probably compete in this tag team match, and I like how the hashtag Wrestling Is storyline took place from the outset of this match. You had Cesaro throw Jey into the Barrett, completely knocks him out of the match. As you're thinking the Usos are out of this tag team match, as Stone Cold would say, not at all. Jey went in it by himself with his wife Naomi, but to go into this match, I gotta say this much. I've never been a big fan of Los Matadores. I'm definitely not a fan of New Day. New Day, No Day. Whatever day they are, I'm not a fan of them. Team Technician, I'm huge on them, and everybody knows I'm a Uso mark. I think they did a great job of this match. The six-man suplex, Mr. Main Event, what you would call it, what they did with Cesaro. It was like, a six-man?
It was 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought each had 2 each plus them. Yeah, that was 6. They had 6.
Oh, wait, it was 6. I'm sorry. Somebody else, Jimmy was
outside the ring.
We're all excited.
That's fine. They had this 6-man. I mean, I love this match. I did. I know people are going to complain later on tomorrow, not tonight, about this not being on the main card, but it's okay. You got to kick the show off early. People get into the building. We know we've been there. You got to do something. I think this did that. However, Team Technician wins this match. And listen, I'm not upset with you. You can't have the Usos win. One's hurt. So what are you going to do? Have his wife be his tag team partner? But Team Technician just do what they do. I loved it. Can't wait to see what things happen tomorrow as we get into the Raw after Mania.
Yo, definitely on this one, I can't be mad at Team Technician, as you like to call them, winning Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. a great tag team. I want to see these guys have a long run. Unfortunately, that one of the Usos are hurt. Jimmy Uso is hurt, but I'd like to see Tyson Kidd and Cesaro take a long run on. Maybe end it one time. You'll see them in the Usos, maybe at SummerSlam, or maybe if the Ascension come up, you never know. Or maybe just maybe somebody else may come in. Maybe the Dudley Boys, maybe the Briscoes. I don't know, but I think Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are a good tag team. With Natalya being their manager, it's about time it's about time that Cesaro is relevant in the WWE.
Guys, I'm gonna just slow it down. I know we're going 100 miles an hour. If I can slow down, catch my breath. Sorry for not keeping up with y'all. The pace y'all going.
Woosah.
But man, what a match. Mike, you hit it on the head. People were complaining about the pre-show. This is the thing. The pre-show gets the crowd warmed up, yes, but it's much more important than what it was. Remember WrestleMania 9 and 10, there was matches always left off the card. They had dark matches. Even on the WWE Network today, you do not see those matches. 10 years from now, we'll be able to go back and watch this match. That's the difference between a dark match versus a pre-show match. And these are important because they still involve storylines. Usually dark matches just warm up the crowd. No real story mode to them. But tonight's matches, getting 2 of them, I will take that all day because I got 5 hours of WrestleMania. And this is the first time I can remember WrestleMania going almost to 11 o'clock. So I'm happy, So that's the thing. People need to understand. The pre-show is just as good as the show because guess what? They still have the cool outfits and they all still getting a paycheck.
You know what, Mr. Main Event, I said that earlier, as we are on Twitter right now, Wrestle_Summit on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow us and get with us because you can get like us as well and just be intelligent as wrestling fans. They got a paycheck, Mr. Main Event. Not only did they get a paycheck, I still got to see the new outfits. They still took this as if it was WrestleMania. The competitors did not act any different, so why is us as fans should act any different, people? It's not about wins and losses in professional wrestling. It's about entertaining you, me, hey, you over there, the fan. That's what we are, fanatic. That's what fan stands for, people. I'm fanatic about tonight, and even that tag team match to me kicked off the show very well, Glenn.
And like that, last thoughts on this one is, look, it's like hors d'oeuvres. When you go to a restaurant, you may get your Buffalo Wild Wings. You may get your Buffalo Wings. You may get your mozzarella sticks. It's all part of dinner because it's still going to add up on your check at the end of the day. They don't take that off, say, oh, that was just the beginning of your meal, so we're not counting that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to count the match at the beginning of the show. Guess what? It was just as exciting as the rest of the card. This card was booked pretty well, and I'm happy for the Usos. I'm happy for Cesaro and Kidd. I'm even happy for Los Matadors. And even Old Day, New Day, Tomorrow Day, whatever case may be, they were still on the WrestleMania card. That's what you want at the end of the day. You want to be on the WrestleMania card. You live up to be on the WrestleMania card. There was some guys that's on the roster that didn't make the WrestleMania card. So guess what? Old Day made it, and they got a paycheck, extra bonus for them.
Now, how about some of the people that were on there twice? If you don't mind, can I go on to the next point?
You go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Big Show. Who saw that coming? I mean, you might have, but the story that goes behind this. For years, I'm pretty sure you guys remember. I mean, a lot of people won't. 1995, Big Show made his debut. And what did they say? The first words there was, the son of Andre. And that's all he was billed as. The Giant was the son of Andre in WCW. And, as a 9-year-old, I bought it, Hey, he was 7 feet tall. I didn't really say, he don't look like him. But, this made so much sense because we got to see a Giant win the Battle Royal. And, yeah, I wanted the Mizdow to win. I'm a huge Mizdow fan. I thought him and Miz told a great story. That was the match I wanted to see one-on-one.
Absolutely.
But with the card that we had tonight, I'm not mad that I didn't get it, and we'll go more into the card, but I have to say that was an impressive Battle Royal. Again, it being on a pre-show gave it enough time to happen.
Not even that. It showed athleticism, you know what I'm saying? It showed athleticism about a Big Show. Especially towards the end of the match, you have a 500-pound man dangling on the rope. You know what I'm saying? Anything could have happened with that. He could have screwed it up, messed it up, botched it, whatever case may be. It shows that the Big Show is being a 500-pound man, almost 7 feet tall, is very athletic, and can still go a little bit. Yeah, big, slow, whatever you want to call him. All you Mizdow marks, guess what? The big man finally got a Battle Royal, and guess what? If he decides to retire today or tomorrow, he's done everything he needed to do in the WWE, and he's a surefire Hall of Famer.
You know what? Not on top of that and all the things you said, I think for once for all that the Big Show has done, and I called this last year thinking he should have won it, because obviously all the things that Mr. Main Event alluded to, and the things that, you know, us as wrestling fans know about the Big Show. Even I, as a teenager at that time, thought, is that Andre the Giant's son? So I thought he should have won it the first time. I think this one meant more because it was put on better. It was a better show. It was a better story that was told in the ring with Mizdow and Damien Mizdow and the Miz taking place, and Ryback, and just the final competitors that were in this. I think it came off much better. So it made his win much better than what I could have anticipated. Now, obviously, I wanted Damien Mizdow or Ryback as well, because I figure, feed me more, go ahead and feed on the beast, Brock Lesnar. But that's not what happened. So I was completely fine, and I'm completely fine with Big Show, I'm sorry, if you will, winning this Battle Royal. I want to stay there like him next to the trophy. I think that was a beautiful moment. He finally got his real WrestleMania moment, and it wasn't at 28 when he beat Cody Rhodes.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. You know, we talked about the Big Show a couple years ago. Everybody laughed at the fact that Big Show got knocked out by Floyd Mayweather. We saw the Big Show at WrestleMania in a diaper, in a sumo match. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We saw the Big Show in a tag team match with the Miz and all these different things. But this time it was the Big Show's moment to win the Battle Royal. It was great for him. He has taken his lumps. He has paid his dues in the WWE at WrestleManias. I'm dare to say he doesn't have a winning record at WrestleMania. You know, but it was good for the Big Show. Stand by the Andre Giant Memorial Trophy. Does he get a rub from this? A little bit. Does it move on? Sure. If Big Show, like I said earlier, Big Show retires is good. Mizdow did what he needed to do, and that was separate from the Miz, and we probably get to see that at Extreme Rules in some kind of extreme match, a backwood alley match, a Hollywood stage match, whatever case may be. It'll be an Extreme Rules match with some kind of movie gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Man, I just said, you know, I say, what does this mean to the Big Show's legacy personally? You guys just answered, you know. This is something that he's going to cherish, you know. Like Mike said, I ain't as big as Mike Knox, but, you know, I'm going to try to get my pose on, too.
I like the night. I like the Battle Royal. I felt for it to be kickoff show. I don't hear no complaints. I don't want to. I think the crowd enjoyed it. And again, it's not about us at home, because us at home have a time to be on the internet and look at other people's thoughts and things that who are not actually in the arena. We know from being there, we know from being fans, and on this day, what it's about is truly about being there in the building. I thought that Battle Royal came off very, very, very good.
And I think everybody got their stuff in. Cesaro got his stuff in, getting ready to slam the Big Show again or pick him up. We thought, oh, man, can this happen 2 years in a row? He got his stuff in well. You saw a lot of guys that was in and out, even the young guys getting their stuff. Titus O'Neil and these guys. Good to be on Raw. It's good to be at WrestleMania. Yes, the Battle Royal, as I mentioned earlier this week on the radio show on Fox Sports Radio 1340, the Battle Royal has always been part of WrestleMania. This time they just added a name to it. And it makes it more relevant when you add Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to it. It sounds nice than just a Battle Royal for all the guys who don't get on the show. And, I mean, I hope they keep this around. Really, I really do. No jokes about it. I think it's a good way for the young guys to get talent. Even Hideo Itami, you know, NXT. Let the NXT tournament happen every year for one of these guys to get put into the Battle Royal so they can get showcased a little bit. I even thought that was good as well. So WWE did a good job with the Battle Royal and the pre-show. Like I said, you always got to whet your appetite before you get to the main course.
Yeah. Well. Speaking of the main course, if you don't mind, there's a new Intercontinental Champion. I mean, how great was that? And by the way, did y'all see SportsCenter tweeted it out?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's Daniel Bryan.
Does this guy not have crossover appeal? I'm just saying. ESPN and the ESPN handle. So you got ESPN and SportsCenter. Both of them tweeted it out. Daniel Bryan, the guy who inspired the world champion San Francisco Giants, he won gold in San Francisco as well.
As well as Michigan State, you know, the Yes Chance started at Michigan State a couple years ago. You know,
and guess what? They went to the Final Four today.
We went to the Final Four.
Boo. Can't do it. Boo. But
go ahead. This is the main event.
Man, you know, I mean, that was just an awesome match. I mean, I thought it set the tone. It set a great pace for what the night was going to be. You know, I'll just say an overview real quick. As we was talking off the air, with the exception of the Divas match, obviously, when you look at this WrestleMania card, there was a main eventer or in Seth Rollins' case, it was a main eventer in every single match.
Every match.
You know, every match. And I was sitting there watching. I was like, wow, you know. And it didn't seem like, you know, back in the day, it seemed like they threw some people in there. You had a couple squash matches. I didn't feel like I got any squash matches tonight, obviously, or any bathroom breaks, you know, especially since I am a fan of the Divas. But I was watching, I was like, man, you know what? This is a great WrestleMania. And it started off well, you know, with this match. You know, you sit there, you watch. Dean Ambrose took a nasty spill, you know, that powerbomb. Mike, what do you think? I know you're a Dean Ambrose guy. I know you had. Were you not worried, Mike Knox?
When I seen it, it looked like he really truly got folded up. Like he went through it and then he went like he went through it again. You know what I mean? Like he was like, all me and my children and my wife all were like, oh my God! Like at the same time, I did not see that coming. At least not from that kind of angle. Listen, this night, this ladder match. Okay. The one thing I will say about the ladder match, I gotta, you know, if I can put a quote in the meter for a second. We were worried about the health of Daniel Bryan, and I think the company was worried about the health of Daniel Bryan as well. We all expected to see a big, great performance out of Daniel Bryan. We didn't get that. And I'm glad we didn't get that. He didn't have to do the things he had to do to still get the reaction that he got from the fans. So I'm happy on a side note from that, because whatever is going on with him, whatever, you know, the talk has been that they wish that they'd have took the medical term of rehabilitation towards his injury, where he took the natural way. So the company's still worried about what's actually going on with the shoulder and the arm. So to watch this still happen and see him still perform when he's getting the ladders thrown at him and still do certain big spots there, but not taking the high-risk spots, I thought it was great of Daniel Bryan to realize he had to dial it down, because he's much bigger to the bigger scheme of things with the WWE and the fans and the Yes Movement than just tonight's match. And I kudos to him, and kudos to him because you talked about crossover appeal. Listen, what he did last night at the Hall of Fame ceremony and the induction of Conor, when he said, everybody, no, don't cheer my name, cheer his name. What I do is not real. That, to me, made me an even bigger fan of Daniel Bryan than I ever thought I could ever go to. And I've always been a fan. Now he's in my top 5 after last night, including tonight winning that moment. What Daniel Bryan has to go, we ain't seen nothing yet, Glenn.
Yo, I mean, he has crossover appeal. Y'all said it earlier. And that's what you want. I don't see why Vince McMahon doesn't see it or anybody else doesn't see it. This guy could carry the company right now on his shoulders. He could carry the company with John Cena being gone or whatever case may be, with Brock Lesnar not being there. He's on ESPN on a regular basis. He, like I said, the thing with Conor at the Hall of Fame. People are loving Daniel Bryan right now. The Total Diva show has shown him being a nice, concerning husband. Women who don't even watch wrestling like Daniel Bryan right now. You know what I'm saying? They want their kids to marry somebody like Daniel Bryan, the daughters. So Daniel Bryan has a great appeal. So he has that loving, caring side of him. And it's great for him. I was concerned about his neck as well, especially with the spot with him and Dolph Ziggler on top of the ladder, headbutting each other and throwing punches. I was really concerned about that. You know what I'm saying? I was really, really concerned about how they were handling the headbutts. I'm like, man, this dude's going to mess his neck up. He took some nice bumps. I tell you what I really loved, though, was Wade Barrett giving the bull hammer to everybody, especially off the ladder. I'm like, yo, please let Wade Barrett, if you can let him do the bull hammer, let Wade Barrett win. You know what I'm saying? Let Wade Barrett win this.
Well, this was his first time he got a WrestleMania moment, because every time he's set, he gets hurt, with the exception he was on the pre-show a couple of years. And, you know, which we talked about the pre-show, the title change. But that match was more about The Miz, and then Wade Barrett went ahead and won it back the next night. But this was a time where Wade Barrett actually got to be under the bright lights with all eyes on him, and he showed out. And, you know, that's a guy, like, I didn't like him in the main event as soon as he was. I understood why, you know, when he was face of Cena and they had the whole deal with the Nexus. But now it's like, okay, and that's what I think the issue was that I had with Roman Reigns, which we'll get into later. But, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Wade Barrett, because he showed out tonight.
That match is actually back on right now. So when you guys see me turn to the left, I'm actually looking at the match all over again. And Mr. Main Event, boy, we go to WrestleMania. We end up going to the Hall of Fame. You understood my love for saying let's dress up, and now every major event. Look at the guys, y'all. Look at this boy is dapper right now. If you don't dress for the occasion, I see the chain. Yes! Yes! Yes, listen, it's a Mark holiday as well. I forgot to put that out there today. Happy Mark holiday, because tonight I'm marked out.
We should have, this is our day, folks. You know, and this was our week, and you know it goes all the way until SmackDown is over. That's when our official WrestleMania week is. But you know the NFL has the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know about you, Mike. I don't know about you, Glenn. I was personally made fun of watching wrestling, and all you people out there who made fun of me, I'm gonna say it live right here on the Wrestling Summit, where you can follow us at Twitter at Wrestle_Summit. All you people who made fun of me, where's the Super Bowl trophy? Where's your World Series ring? I got belts. I got chains. And as Mike liked to say, I'm going to take a line out of his. He liked to always throw in the plugs about his family. I got 2 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife. So all those who made fun of me like a wrestler, who came on top now?
You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, even tonight, before as the pre-show was going on, I was at church. I was somewhere. I was doing something. And people were like, oh, you can try to get on and watch WrestleMania. I said, no, I don't even have to get home. I'm watching it on my phone. So guess what? I'm watching it on my phone. I'm watching it on my phone. I'm in the car right now watching it on my phone. So guess what? You know, don't mess with me right now. I'm a big wrestling fan.
Bro, you wasn't driving, right?
Oh, no, the wife was driving.
Okay. Because we only get one Glenn Thomas.
Yeah. Right, we don't need to lose you for WrestleMania. You know what?
Right. Ain't that great.
As I said earlier, guys, make sure you go follow me at Mike Knox wherever as social media is sold, as Mr. Main Event alluded to. Listen, wrestling got me my beautiful wife. But people, also tonight, listen, I called it. I couldn't wait for it, and it actually had a chance to actually happen, Mr. Main Event, and I couldn't be more happy when I finally got to see what I thought would be the match of the night. We got to finally look down and see Seth Rollins take on the Viper Randy Orton. And people, like I said, it's not many things we actually get to say we want to happen. I really wanted this to happen because I thought this had potential of being the match of the night. And I'm going to say this much right here. I called it. I do. I still think it was the match of the night. I'm sorry. He came out with elbow pads. I'm sorry. Randy Orton came out looking completely different. Like the legend killer took on the future legend. As we saw as what happened at the end of the night. Listen, this match was good. The mech technician was good. The pace of the match was good. How they got rid of J&J security and the onstart of this match was good. The finish that we thought was the finish was good. The athleticism of Seth Rollins was superb. And then people, listen, we've seen RKOs come out of what was my man's finishing move from Air Boom, Mr. Main Event. I forget what he would catch him with the 450 splash. And all the things we've seen Randy Orton catch these finishing moves out of nowhere.
Oh,
listen, Evan Bourne's move. Listen, this was hands down the finest of the finest RKOs to ever end a match. Listen, Seth Rollins, kudos to you, my brother. I cannot wait to see Raw tomorrow, Mr. Main Event.
You know, when you think about an RKO out of nowhere, I mean, it's done generated its own hashtag. It's done went viral on Vine. People who don't watch wrestling, they know the RKO out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. You think of all ways this could possibly happen. You sit back, we watch wrestling so much, we dissect it. It's like, okay, how can the RKO come out of nowhere? Right. I did not expect that one. No. When he went up for the kick, I thought maybe he would get up and catch him. But the fact that he put his foot on there and he just like threw him up, it was like if this was a ladder match, Seth probably could have grabbed the belt. That's how high it seemed that he went. So I mean, it was truly an RKO out of nowhere. And I gotta give a shout out to my boy Chris Condor listening in. You know, he said he happy that we gave props to Wade Barrett. So shout out, thanks for listening and watching. But yeah, that RKO out of nowhere was something serious.
Yo, you had to know this had to be Randy Orton's year. You know what I'm saying? Not year, but Randy Orton's night. You know, he wanted to steal the match. Not only that, and they stole the show a little bit until the end. Randy Orton and Seth Rollins put on a heck of a match. Not only that, he stole the Hall of Fame with his beautiful girlfriend. Not to mention, you know, I'm just saying out there. Anyway, but Randy Orton with RKO, we love to see the RKO. It might go viral yet again, but Randy Orton is the man right now. He's been a solid number 2 in the WWE for a long time. He's the solid number 2. He's Mr. Consistent. 12 WrestleManias in a row. You know what I'm saying? He has not missed one. 12 WrestleManias in a row. He's Mr. Consistent. So
can we say he is the Triple H of this generation? You know how people put Triple H behind, or are you trying to say because if Cena's Rock, I mean Austin, are we saying RKO, Randy Orton is Rock? You know what I mean? Not to put him in those, you know how that's what wrestling fans do. They categorize, but you know, Orton's that next best thing, or do we still put Edge in there and we make Orton third?
No, I think Orton is second right now. I think Orton is second.
No.
I think Orton is second because of Mr. Consistency, because of the consistency that's been there. Whether it's when nobody was there, no stars were there, Orton was that guy that you could go to. If you needed a heel, you can go to Orton. If you needed somebody who could turn face, you can go to Orton. Orton is whatever you need him to be. Yeah, we know Orton's a better heel than he is face, but Orton is that guy. He's that guy that WWE can turn to. He's Mr. Reliable right now. If he can stay off the wellness program and then all the suspensions and stuff like that, Orton will be go down in history as the clear-cut number 2, as you say, the Triple H to The Rock or Triple H to Austin.
Mr. Van.
I mean, when he's that good, when you're that good, you can work when you want to, and that's Randy Orton. And Christian said it best. The guy don't realize how good he is, and that's somebody who could go out there. We always talk about, you know, people always say Shawn Michaels could go out there and have a great match with a broom. That's a Randy Orton also.
With Pepe. Randy Orton can go out there and make Pepe a champion. That's all I know. Listen, like I said, the match was incredible, but what followed? What followed, Glenn?
Yo, what you have followed, first of all, you got to look at what Sting and Triple H was following, but the entrance of Sting, the entrance of Triple H, I'm talking about technology. WWE spent some money on this thing. WWE spent some money, definitely spent some money on the entrance. I mean, it was just taking over. It was taking over the robots of Triple H with the whole half the skull with the digital eye and how they were doing the
Terminator.
The whole Terminator gimmick. WWE spent money. It was great. It was good to see. If I dare to say, if Triple H doesn't have anything else, he'll go down in history as the guy who has the best entrances ever at WrestleMania. I don't know anyone that has better entrance than Triple H at WrestleMania. Maybe I can't think of anybody. Y'all maybe, and I know the Wizard probably get me on somebody, but I think Triple H's entrance have been the best ever. Have been the best, even above the Undertakers with the Druids and all that other stuff. It's always been Triple H. I look forward to Triple H's entrance at WrestleMania. You know, and then you go on to the match. A good match there, very nostalgia match there. A good back and forth with Sting and Triple H. And Sting still got it. He can go a little bit. He can still go in the ring for being a 56-year-old man. He still put on a good show. And here's the part where I marked out. Yeah, I marked out. I know a lot of people did. If you say you didn't mark out, your blood is not running warm in your veins right now because you saw Shawn Michaels, you saw DX, you saw NWO, you saw a super kick, you saw the sledgehammer get broke, you saw Triple H get the win. Hey, it was a mark out moment for any wrestling fan. If you ain't a wrestling fan, I don't know why you were watching WrestleMania. This is the mark out moment. It goes down in history as the mark out moment. Shawn Michaels, because I dare to say, and the Wizards said as well, if Sting would have came earlier, it would have been Shawn Michaels versus Sting, not Sting versus Triple H. If Sting would have came a couple years ago, we'd have got Sting versus Shawn Michaels, and that's the match most fans wanted to see. You want to see that more so than Sting and The Undertaker because Sting and Shawn Michaels could have shut the house down if it would have happened years ago.
Y'all just want to say SportsCenter just tweeted about Rollins.
Oh, really?
Sorry,
our world is taking over. That's important to talk about that. That is very important. I am a little different on the entrances. I think Triple H entrances are the greatest of all time. By far, he's one of my all-time favorite. He's actually in my top 4. I put Triple H next to Shawn, Brett, and Rock. That's where I put Triple H. I love the guy. I love his entrances. Typically, tonight was good, but because of the daylight. And because of all the other things that took place that I think only we got to see better and a better way on television than in person, I gotta put this down to like maybe the 4th best entrance that he's ever had. That's just, I think nothing gets last year's, nothing gets 21 with the Conan. I think those two, even the one where he smashed the mirror and walked through the glass, I thought that one was even a step better than this one because of the performance that it was him and not the modern technology of the screens and whatnot that took place in there. But as far as the match is concerned, my God, as it beats Triple H beating Sting, First of all, I want to talk about that. That was shocking in itself. I didn't see that coming. I'm glad it actually happened, and we'll get into that later. But mark out moment of the night. You're absolutely right, Glenn. I can't make anything better. My wife, again, when you have a woman that likes wrestling, A, that's sexy. B, and she's entertained by today's product. Well, my wife is the first one to tell anybody who listens she stopped watching once The Rock left. And she only wakes up if she hears this music. No lie. If The Rock's music hits, she could be asleep. She wakes up.
Is your wife and my wife sisters? Because that's what my wife does.
Just wake up.
Sisters.
The Rock's music hit, Roman Reigns' music hit, any of them Samoans, she pops up. I know I'm close to him, so I gotta make sure I keep her at a Heisman distance. But Triple H winning this match, I absolutely loved it because WWE still reigns supreme over WCW. That's why it was also Mr. Main Event. Sorry, Sting haters. Sorry, Sting fans.
I love Sting. I wanted him to win this match, but it's better when you can't predict it.
Yes,
it's better when you don't predict the whole show, right? I mean, I was sitting up there, and I think I woke my daughter up. I jumped out of my seat when the NWO music hit. And it was like, I mean, how many times have we said, imagine DX versus the NWO? How many times? Mike is the king of downloading people in WWE 2K, folks. He always has, they'll name it WWE 2K15. Mike changes to WWE 2K89 because he always have Barry Windham, the Four Horsemen, the NWO.
Sorry, you gotta have Barry Windham. You gotta have Barry Windham.
So you can have these matches. But tonight, we got a chance to see the NWO and DX. And I'm sitting there like, okay. Honestly, I was waiting for Hall and Nash to turn on Hogan and Sting.
Yeah.
But then it was like, okay, but then that means you got to keep the story going. So I'm glad I mean, obviously, I could watch that all day. I could watch this program carry on. I was a little disappointed in the handshake because we finally just got some Sting. We wanted to see some more, but I understand it, But when I sat there and I watched it, I was like, wow. But I just want to say this about the game, Triple H. Ever since he's had his hands in the company, ever since he's had his hands on the business side of things, let's take it from WrestleMania 28 and move forward. The WrestleMania product has gotten better. You could argue about 29, same issue that I had with the night before the show. The build-up wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. But, the execution, and I said, this would be a better WrestleMania when I go back and watch it later. That's what I said about 29.
Yeah, they all are.
But tonight's was great, and I was sat there and I had a moment, especially during this match, Triple H's thing, where I sat there, I was like, this is WrestleMania Live. This is it's been a year since I've been able to watch a WrestleMania and not know the results. And it was just like you have to have that moment as a fan. And I just have to give a big shout out to him because ever since he's had his hands on the product, it's been so much better.
Not only has it been better, man, but it has been, you can tell Triple H is kind of, the storylines played themselves out at WrestleMania. What you want to do, you want to end some storylines and you want to start some other ones. And I think this one ended with Sting. Do we see Sting? Maybe, maybe not. Do we see Sting next year? Maybe, maybe not. To me, it's either way is cool because Sting wrestled in a WWE ring. Sting wrestled at WrestleMania. Come on, for a minute, can we be a fan and not worry about a win-loss record? Everybody, I've always been a proponent. Everybody don't have to go home happy at the end of a WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't got to be a fairy tale thing. And so with Sting losing was good. In this match, it was all about WWE beating, quote-unquote, this fictional WCW who had not been around in 12 years. And that's what it was all about. That's what it was all about. It made people want to go to the network and watch what's going on.
Listen, I believe that, one, it's stupid, first of all, to wear sunglasses indoors. I've always made fun of people who do that. But I'm doing this right now because the star on Paul Levesque, Triple H, is so big, people. The weekend in itself, Mr. Main Event and Glenn, here on the Wrestling Summit, Wrestle_Summit on Twitter, is so big that off camera, in the crowds, the NXT fan base, and what he's actually doing with the product, he's absolutely saving wrestling. Where in the story mode, people hate him so much, they have this fictional thing of a shovel that exists. That the WrestleMania 30 stage would even say it's a shovel. People, Triple H is that dude. I've said it for a decade. I'm sorry, people. He's saving wrestling. He did not hire these people. He is mending fences that Vince McMahon could not do because he's a student of the business. Hence the word, the game.
And not only saving the business, and not only saving that. And guess what? It's not because he's married to Stephanie McMahon. It's not because he's married to Stephanie McMahon. The guy, he studies the business. We forget he was trained by Killer Kowalski. You know what I'm saying? He put some of that knowledge inside of Triple H. So let me say, this guy loves wrestling. So guess what? It's about a business. It's a job to him now. It's much more. Some people say, oh, he's just getting his friends into a Hall of Fame. Let's be honest. His friends deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Kevin Nash deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, whatever way you want to go in, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Only one that, if you can probably say he getting into the Hall of Fame, is X-Pac. Even then, I think X-Pac has a place where he can be deserved into the Hall of Fame. Does he need to go next year? No, maybe in about 5 or 6 years. Yes, but then you can't put X-Pac in the Hall of Fame and leave China out. And I know that's a different discussion, but because they did a video together. I'm just saying.
Mr. Vane, he just led you somewhere.
Well, remember, too, you got to realize this. One thing about X-Pac, he's also a great mastermind behind the scenes. Jericho said in his book, when he would get in trouble by Vince McMahon about his matches, he said, Vince told him, from now on, you go to X-Pac before you go through your matches, because X-Pac is a ring general, and he knows how to put together 5-star matches. That alone right there will be a reason. I mean, and then, the guy was over. Let's not pretend he wasn't. I mean, and I know we're not, but he was over. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? I'll say this, and in my Triple H segment, Triple H rant right here, is if he did get in a position because of who his wife was, which I don't believe he did, but if he did, so what? Because it's not what you know can get you there. Who you know can get you there, but what you know keeps you there.
Absolutely.
And obviously he's doing something right on paper to keep the WWE going this way. After all, look at the Performance Center. Look at the content that's coming in 2016. My wife was looking at the commercial, and she was like, wow, they got Jerry Springer, they got this, they got that. She said, oh, man.
Speaking on that real fast and shortly, I know we got a lot more to go and cover and want to get to the matches so we can actually answer some of the stuff that's coming in from Twitter via our own personal Instagram and social media accounts as well as we come together as a summit. I'm Mike Knox, 3 X's, at Perfect Plex Talk Radio, at BDSR Network. But your wife touched it on the head right there, Mr. Main Event. Seeing this content coming to the network is why I told people stop your crying in the beginning place with the network. Everything has to start somewhere. HBO didn't have the greatest thing. I'm a Verizon guy, but I'm the first person to tell you that Comcast On Demand is the greatest. It didn't start that way. Something has to start. For $9.99, that was worth it. And for what's coming to that network, that's worth it. I like the goddamn song, by the way, too. $9.99. So, but what was not a bathroom break? Well, okay, I'm lying. It became a bathroom break, Mr. Main Event. What was next on the card?
The concert.
The concert. Anybody? I'm sorry. Am I that old? I don't know who the hell she was.
No.
Who? Skylar?
Oh, who was Kid Ink then? I know Travis Barker.
Yeah,
I know that.
In the world.
I know the drummer, and I know that.
Shout out to my uncle Troy Felder.
There you go. I know my kids like the song. I can't stand the song, but kids love anything. My kids anyway. That had anything to do with wrestling. So, Mr. Main Event, I also know you're not a big fan of the theme song at all.
No, you know what? I was so when you get into the WrestleMania weekend and it's all there, you're sitting there watching it keep constantly playing and playing and playing. It kind of gets it wasn't as great as it has been. Not better than, ours. Oh, no, they did. I was about to sing the 27. But, it's not better than 28. Not better than 29 by any means. But this year, it was good. It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But, after the whole concert thing, if somebody went to the bathroom at the concert and then they found out the Divas match was up next, they stayed in the bathroom.
Get a hot dog. Get some nachos, another T-shirt. The line's less.
Yeah, they stayed in the bathroom, get the extra popcorn. It's the Diva match, whatever case.
Come on, y'all. Come on.
Seriously, I enjoyed the match. Seriously, not seriously. All jokes aside, I enjoyed the Divas match. I really did. AJ and them got a win over the Bella Twins. Finally got a win over the Bella Twins after a long time. It was a pretty good match. AJ with the Widow's Peak. I guess we'll get a title match between AJ and Nikki tomorrow night on Raw.
We'll see.
I think that happens. I think that's why the Bellas did lose. I thought the Bellas would win. I wanted the Bellas to win. I believe that talent was sexually transmitted to Nikki Bella, and I think she's going to go down, and people are going to miss her. We've talked about that on previous shows. But I think that does happen tomorrow. The Raw after Mania have to continue to be what it was built the last 2 years, and the company knows that. So tomorrow, I think you get AJ Punk taking on Paige and Nikki Bella for a triple threat match. Actually, those best friends can't stay friends forever. So, and she can't walk off into the sunset and throw that belt in the trash. Already took one out the trash. Although the Diva title should go in the trash.
Yo, I think we got the next match coming up. What an entrance by, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder on this one, Mike, but I enjoyed the Rusev entrance with the tank. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty good. And that was pretty smooth. The flag, the tank. And for all you 42-year-old virgins who worried about it, Lana did show up, okay? Lana showed up. She wore white for you guys, because you thought you were going to be the first one, right? Yeah, really. But she came in, and Mike, good match there. Good match with Rusev and John Cena. But Mike, take it away.
Listen, 100%. I've been on this match since day one. I put it on Perfect Plex Talk YouTube. You can get my Monday night Raw reviews that I'm a big fan of the John Cena Rusev match. I was disappointed because I did want Rusev to win the match, but I'm not silly. You can't talk about America forever and think that wasn't going to happen. So I thought it was really funny that even my son, who's a big John Cena fan, on my pre-show, I let him join me on the air today as he did his prediction. He said, "Well, I want Cena, but Rusev's going to win." I said, "Why?" He said, "He never loses, Dad." So when he won, it was so great to see the look on his face that Cena won the match. So, but the entrance, like you said, oh my God, that has to be one of the best entrances in WrestleMania histories as well. And I tweeted out Rocky 7. Because that's exactly the music. That's the same theme song and whatnot that took place. Now we see, as Mr. Main Event alluded to off the air, will there be a rift between the two? Mr. Main Event, I say yes because we know, that she's off to do the movie that she's filming with Edge, so she has to get wrote off TV. She was back tonight because obviously it was the granddaddy of them all. But the match itself, before we go into that, Mr. Main Event, I thought was great. I thought Rusev is, if you cannot look at this guy and see that he is going to be a bona fide superstar. There's Seth Rollins, and then there's Bray Wyatt. You better start putting Rusev right next to those two other gentlemen before you put anybody else that's a young and up-and-comer. Okay, that's over hashtag I'm a Dean Ambrose guy. That's over Roman Reigns, which none of you guys like anyhow. You better put Rusev there, Mr. Main Event, because I think it's unbelievable, especially with or without Lana, he can still be successful in that ring.
Yeah, and he can. Shout out to Big Rikishi for training him, too. He gave him a shout out at the Hall of Fame and gave him a nod. People were mad about that. Hey, this is a big guy. And I don't care if he lost a match or not, but he's still going to be dominant. And people got to understand that. He put a good showing on. Even if he lost at WrestleMania, the matches he had leading up to WrestleMania and the things that he was doing leading up to WrestleMania with battling John Cena, the top guy in the company, Rusev is here to stay.
Yeah, man, I tell you this, that match, it was awesome. The thing about Rusev is when I first saw this guy, I got to admit, I was like, I don't know about the look, but it told me I had to think out of the box, Can't be always just the regular trunks and the shoes or the long pants and the shoes.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you get mad when cats don't have on the right wrestling attire.
I did, and that's how I felt about Rusev. I was like, but then he's a bona fide heel. Mm-hmm. And I love it, and that's the type of person you want to see him get beat up. You wanted to see him get beat, and I gotta say, Kurt Angle's sitting at home like, damn. But it was a great match, and I'm excited because this guy has a future. He came up on a Royal Rumble last year, made his WWE debut, and I remember because they use like his first and last name or something like that. I might be wrong.
Alexander Rusev.
Yeah. And I was like, how do you say that? And, but then the more and more they kept saying, but it showed that you still care about him. You still care to want to see him when his valet's not around. And I wrote that earlier on on my blog on Mr. Main Event, BrianHWaters.wordpress.com. You know, I wrote, how many look at the valets once they leave, the wrestlers go. I don't see that the case with Rusev at all. Great heel, great job tonight.
Yeah, great job, good heel, good stuff for him. And then it takes us to this. The segment no one knew was going to happen. You had Triple H and Stephanie McMahon who comes out in the ring. They talk a little bit. You have The Rock, the great one, who flew all the way across country from New York Saturday Night Live to be in California to be at WrestleMania. People didn't know if it was going to happen, wasn't going to happen. He cut a fake promo on Saturday Night Live. Everybody tweeted out how great it was to see a live promo tonight with the great one. And not only with the great one, with the 4 horsewomen on the front row and with potential WWE superstar future down the road, Ronda Rousey.
Absolutely, very soon.
I don't care what anybody says. Let's be honest. To get punched in the face for real and only make $60,000 or $65,000 per fight, or be in the WWE and learn how to wrestle, it can make millions. Which one would you take? The same reason Brock Lesnar is currently still in the WWE. If Dana White better be careful because he's losing his stars to Vince, McMahon. Ronda Rousey is going to be a star. And could you imagine that match, which, potentially you could have Rock and Ronda Rousey taking on Stephanie and Triple H somewhere down the road. Ronda Rousey, for all you guys who don't think we know UFC, because my man, shout out to Champ Creed, she only has 2 more fights under her contract that she has to do with the UFC, and that's it. So her contract will be up by this time next year for WrestleMania. She'll fight again maybe in July. Then you'll see her again maybe December or the beginning of next year, and she has the opportunity to be in the WWE by next year WrestleMania if she wants to. But she also has Fast 7 coming out. Her movie career is blowing up, and she also has the Entourage movie that's coming out as well.
I don't know why she's in either one of those movies. That girl can't act. I'm sorry. She's great. She's okay to look at. She's playing for the other team, so fellas, please stop wishing. Oh, that's the first thing. But she's superly great. Ronda's playing for the other team.
No. You put in the article. She's not.
Okay. Until I see her with a man. Okay, and leave them 4 girls alone. I'm gonna keep calling. Hey, she wear them combat boots. Her and Paige might have a little thing going on at the end of the day.
Hey, you saw what happened on Total Divas. Paige go, get away from me.
Yeah, I respect for that because I think they take over sometimes. But listen, that was great. Anytime you get The Rock out there, and that was good. And I think at that point, Mr. Main Event, you kind of gave us an inbox as we was getting ready for the show tonight about the pacing of the night, because that was a great spot to actually put The Rock and the whole Ronda Rousey thing with Triple H and them. The only thing I didn't like about that whole entire segment, all right, I did not like the fact that Triple H, it felt to me, I'm a Triple H guy, he was actually hiding behind his wife, because The Rock went through all that where he didn't say a word. And
he was tired.
He was tired?
He was tired. He just went out there and wrestled. He just went out there and wrestled Sting.
What happened to his thigh? That's what I want. He had that big old mark on his leg. I was like, did I miss something?
That's what I was saying to my wife. She was like, you sure? I said, look. And I said, she was like, oh, Stephanie be beating him up. I said, I don't know, because Sting had a mark on his back. I said, I don't know, maybe it's something out there that he did.
Yeah, it was something bad, or they were playing 50 Shades of the Ring.
I mean, the bottom line is, when you look at it, a chance for a Rock and Triple H, I want that match. I mean, absolutely. I want a Rock Triple H match. I said that's one of the matches we never got at WrestleMania 1-on-1. That was the next rivalry, while Undertaker and Austin was headlining the main event of SummerSlam '98. Rock and Triple H was sub-headlining, and that was one of the greatest rivalries during the Attitude Era. They held it down when Austin, who was up here, had to get sidelined with a neck injury. Here comes Rock, here comes Austin, here comes Triple H, and they said, you know what, WWE, we're going to keep you right here. We're going to even take you to the next step further, so when Austin comes back, we still going to be getting more money. So that's good. You guys would know this better than I would. Would Ronda Rousey make more money in the WWE? Now, check me out here, what I'm about to say. I'm not sure as far as how much she make per fight, but merchandise sales, toys. Obviously she's gonna get a T-shirt. Obviously she's gonna get a toy. But is it potential to make more money in the WWE and less wear and tear on the body if she takes a part-time schedule?
I absolutely think so. The thing is about what Glenn you were saying, that I question. I don't disagree with that question. Is I think she has a high respect for the sport of MMA. And I think although I think clearly she wants to be a part of the WWE, and I think she would still fit in perfect with them. It'd definitely add legitimacy to them to say I think Brock being here kind of does because of where she comes from with the up-and-comers down in NXT. So I think she could go with the really good girls that we don't get to see. However, I think she loves MMA. I think she loves what she does. But again, she's a girl. And how long can a girl want to actually fight when she can go do this? You know what I mean? So that's where I wouldn't know. I think only God and her knows where that would be for me, Glenn.
I think so. I mean, I think with her, if she's running out of people to fight her, you know what I'm saying?
They just signed Cyborg. So maybe after that fight, but they just signed Cyborg, and after the fight, everybody wants to see.
Cyborg's not going to drop down to Ronda's weight, and Ronda's.
They were saying as late last night, Dana White did come down and say that Cyborg is working to get to that weight loss. It's only 10 pounds, and she signed to fight Ronda Rousey. That is pretty much essentially the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. So I think, and to even go further into what you were saying, Mr. Main Event, is that if after that match she beats Cyborg, then it's one of those things about, okay, what else is left? Because these girls can't touch her. She's the only legitimate, credible opponent for Ronda Rousey most MMA fans find out there, Glenn. So
we're not getting that match anytime soon.
Right.
Because Cyborg gonna have to go get somebody like Misha Tate. She's not just gonna walk through the front door and get Ronda Rousey.
I think she will.
Okay.
I think she will. At least by her second fight, I think she will. But we didn't get a nighttime entrance.
No, we did not.
But what you think about it?
We got the Undertaker, we got Bray Wyatt. I mean, and to me, it was a good match. You got a good entrance. Taker look, I don't want to call him fat, but he looks plump. He looks well. He looks well. He looks jacked.
HGH did him very well.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mike.
I'll tell you about the accusations.
I'm just saying, Taker looked well when he got in the ring. He didn't even at the end of the match. I'm gonna skip there. Look, he didn't. The last couple of WrestleManias, he had to be dragged out, carried out.
He looked bad.
He looked bad the last couple. This one, he was able to walk on his own. He wasn't as bad. He was in good shape, to the point where I even asked my wife and my kids, like, could we see Taker tomorrow night at Monday Night Raw? I mean, could you see him? Because he was in good shape. He was in good physical condition. It looked like he was training much more than just 2 months. It looked like this was like a Taker who'd been training for about at least 6, 7, 8 months, getting himself back in shape. I think last year, after the match with Brock, being carted off in the ambulance, and I don't know him personally, but he had something to prove this year. I think that's one of the reasons he decided to come back. He had something to prove, and he just came back and like, you know what? This is my time. This is my day. I'm about to do it.
I have to say, he was the best. This is the best he's looked since he sent Shawn home packing at WrestleMania 26. When I went out there, When I sat there, I watched him come out. I was like, wow, And Bray Wyatt, I mean, first, on the inside, he's a wrestling fan. He was marking out like crazy, but nonetheless, he was standing there, and he almost like wanted to be intimidated, but he had to walk around and kind of like, no, I ain't scared. And I mean, this was It was an Undertaker match. It wasn't the greatest, but it was the storytelling that was the greatest. The wrestling skills might not have been, oh, man, this, that, and the other. I tell you one thing. Shout out to the real Dwayne Allen. He said something and took the thought. Why do everybody got to kick out of the tombstone? What's up with the false finishes? I was just like, all right, I understood it with Triple H and the streak ended. It's not the streak ended. I would have rather waited, but that's just me. Maybe saw a last ride or something. And then Bray Wyatt kick out of that. But nonetheless, I mean, how about the spot when the Undertaker did the sit-up when Bray was doing a spider walk? And I remember telling my wife, I got a feeling they're going to do something like that. Because, these two guys, we've been watching wrestling long enough that we know who could tell great stories and who can't and who's going to want to go out there and show out. And we knew these guys were going to go show out because tonight it seemed like this is what I saw in tonight's WrestleMania that I haven't seen in a very long time. That's a sense of urgency to steal the show. Everybody went out there with a sense of urgency. They tired of hearing it. According to the dirt sheets, they are tired of hearing about NXT putting on great matches. They're tired of hearing about NXT this, NXT that. They're allowed more time. Everybody went out with the agenda like, I'm going to go have the best match. And I did a hashtag, WrestleMania, can you top this?
You know what? I'm gonna go this with that match because this is where you know me, Glenn. You know me. I blame fans for having expectations. Look what we've gotten from Taker over the last 4 years. Okay, he can only do so much, guys. He's done enough for us. He's entertained us enough. The same thing with Foley would come out there and they would go, give me one more match, one more match. Like, look what the man's doing to himself. Let the man go home to his family. He's entertained us enough. So I wasn't upset with the fact he didn't jump over the ropes. I wasn't upset. If anybody knows, I know you noticed, okay, the Undertaker coming out there just like the American Badass, first of all. It was a mix of characters, okay? Because he came out like the Undertaker, but he was dressed like the American Badass with the knee brace on. He's having trouble, but he definitely got in shape for this event. But I want to just backtrack a little bit. Bray Wyatt's entrance was freaky. Gosh darn it, it was freaky. Between that moment and obviously that sinister walk with the tombstone sit-up, was amazing. And you know what it is? I asked my kids at the same thing, Mr. Minute, about why did they kick out the tombstone? You know, some Christian loves to go, he kicked out it too. So, but it's a WrestleMania thing. I think at WrestleMania, and this is what I told my kids, everybody brings something extra. So everybody needs more than one finisher to beat them now because that's what WrestleMania has been built because that's what fans have taken it to, and that's what fans demand. Because if they don't have just one tombstone, you know what it is, you can't satisfy every single person. You know what I mean? So for that match, and I thought the match was good. So what? It was short. It had to be short. What did you expect? He was there. He got you guys to pop for him. And guess what, guys? He won the match, and I still don't think for one bit whatsoever it hurts Bray Wyatt. How bad is it really on your record that you lost to John Cena and The Undertaker?
Hey, guess what? Like you just said it. John Cena, Undertaker. WrestleMania icons back to back.
Back to back.
If he don't, you know, that's better. Like they always say, if you can't get the title match, an Undertaker match, a Triple H match, a John Cena match, even a Randy Orton match, that's something.
And he's still the new face of fear in the WWE after the way he had the possession of those gosh darn scarecrows. That's all I know.
My wife was like, look at him. She's like, wow, this is amazing. He just touch him. He activates him. I was like, okay, you know. It was funny. I just got to say, shout out to my wife for watching. This is our first WrestleMania watching together. Thought I was going to be watching. I was like, man, I'll be watching WrestleMania by myself. This is going to suck. This is the first year I ain't watching WrestleMania by myself since WrestleMania 18. Nah, my wife was right there along with the whole time. I got to give a big shout out to her.
Yeah, definitely that, man. Like I said, with this match, shout out to my wife as well. She's watching the kids, her and the kids watching. I'm watching and getting ready for the show, and I can hear my wife's a wrestling fan, but you can tell when something happened that she liked because she started yelling. And I walked down and said, like, you all right? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm fine. Yeah, you're a wrestling fan. Just stop lying and tell everybody you're really a wrestling fan. You married a wrestling fan. You're a wrestling fan, so guess what? Enjoy it. All right? Enjoy it. Yep. It's okay. It's okay. You're an educated woman, I understand, but enjoy right now. Suspend your disbelief and get caught up in WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Get caught up. And nobody care. Get caught up in WrestleMania. You know, then we go on to, I guess, where we started. You get Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. You get Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and we get the end of the match where it's a total cash-in. I mean, let's be honest. I know people wanted to see Roman Reigns get the win. You know what I'm saying? People wanted to see Roman Reigns get the win, but I don't care what anybody say. Roman Reigns put on a good showing here.
He did.
And he put on a good showing. If you don't respect Roman Reigns after this match, you're not a wrestling fan, okay? You have to respect the man. He took the same thing, took the same beating John Cena took. He bloodied Brock, good God, 30 seconds into the match. I mean, we even got blood tonight. You haven't seen blood in the WWE ring in a while. So you got blood, Seth cashes in, Roman Reigns come out looking good. Guess what? Brock can go take a break, can go after Seth Rollins, or you can see Roman Reigns go after Seth. It's so many things you can do right now, especially with Brock Lesnar staying in the company.
How about this? All for 2 weeks, we've heard John Cena's going to win the U.S. title. Daniel Bryan's going to win the Intercontinental title. Right. They're going to elevate the belts, and Brock is going to keep it. He's going to go away, come back, go away. That did not happen. Those other two things happened. Brock didn't walk away with the title tonight.
Right.
Seth Rollins did. And I'm saying, why? Now, just think about this. This is the type of faith they have in Seth Rollins. You have a more prestigious belt than John Cena and Daniel Bryan. Now, personally, as happy I was to see Daniel Bryan win the title, now it's like, okay, in a few, I want to see him drop the title because I want to see him and Rollins go back and forth. You know? But, you know, like you said, Glenn, we could get Roman and Rollins. You know, we already know that, you know, Rollins can put on a hell of a match. You know, Roman earned my respect. You know, one thing about Roman, I've always thought he's somebody, the wrestling, I was like, man, he really appears a good wrestler to me. You know, a good storyteller. But in a match like this, he went out there and he showed, you know, and maybe it helped having all his family there, having everybody there, maybe a cousin. Like he said, every time I go in the hotel, it's a new cousin. Maybe another cousin gave him some advice. Maybe Rikishi gave him some advice. Maybe Samu gave him some advice. Maybe he had all those people coming around tell him, hey man, if you get down, laugh at him. You know, and that's what I liked. It was the small things that we haven't seen, and that's the problem. And I think another thing the problem with Roman Reigns that we saw that we always saw him in tag matches. Last pay-per-view was the first time we saw him in a singles match. The second time, because we always saw it at SummerSlam. It's like, give us more singles matches of Roman Reigns. Then we'll be ready to drink the Kool-Aid. But also, don't rush him. You know, that's all we didn't want. But tonight, he went out there and showed out. And when they made it a triple threat match, I had a gut feel. I was like, wait a minute. Rollins could win this. And it would make sense because nobody's been able to pin the Beast. But if you have him pin Roman, you protect the Beast.
Right. You know what? And that's good. That's good. Hashtag wrestling your storyline right there. And everything you just said, I can't even make any more intelligent commentary than what you just said. Everything that Roman did, people, if you can't get behind Roman now, then just do me a favor, stop acting for somebody new. Stop acting and stop telling me that you know wrestling when you don't know it at all. Because Roman Reigns, even if he'd have won tonight, which I wanted, okay, it still has a future in this company. And his ring psychology that he put on the night, like you said, Mr. Main Event, the family may have spoke to him. Everybody was there. He had a lot on his shoulders. I think he knew that he was going to not win the match. Well, obviously we knew he was going to win the match, and he still went out there.
You see his face last night? Of course he did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was mad last night at the Hall of Fame. You're absolutely right. But people, welcome in
the Wizard.
There he is.
Nephew Corey, what's going on?
Hello there, everyone. How are you all?
We are doing great. Happy WrestleMania Sunday to you. Actually, it's over. So
it's still WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania Monday. My brother has come home in time for the show.
Okay. What's going on, Nephew Corey?
I'll put it this way. I'm not going to say, because I'm not going to speak it into existence, but supposedly I could be on the side of regretting not going.
Oh, I'm already on that side.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I'm on that side.
Yeah, this was good start to finish, and I know you all are on the championship match right now, but I'll briefly touch just start to finish. This WrestleMania was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely incredible from my end, and we're talking right now about the ending of the program, is where I left off at before you came in, and that cash in that was just beautiful, because like Mr. Main Event said, I don't think no one. I'm sorry, people. Somebody out there is saying they called this. I'm sorry. If you did, hey, more power to you. I didn't see this coming. Most fans didn't see this coming. You're absolutely right. You made it a triple threat match. I didn't. That never entered my equation, because that could happen. And him coming down doing that, I just thought it was absolutely superb. It's so easy to say it's the greatest WrestleMania of all time that we've seen, but I always said, from being at 28, and everybody who's on this panel knows the same thing I feel, it does seem like everyone does get better. I know they have the ones that were, very, very bad. What we thought was a wash WrestleMania, what we thought was setting up for the next WrestleMania, what was not built to be great, they did what they're supposed to do on this day, and that was entertaining. And I'm sorry, that's what they do best. I don't care about what they did, and the fact that the boys in the back, right, don't even want to call it entertainment. The fact that the boys in the back, the legends in the back, want to still refer to themselves as professional wrestlers, from not just outside the company, but still inside the company. We're starting to connect. What was called the reality era that I actually hated, guys. I hated being called the reality era. I'm actually starting to love it because that means you're listening to what we say. You're taking my advice. You're knowing how to curb everybody's what they want.
I just want to say this one thing. Only thing I just don't like about the lack of build up or matches when we think it's gonna be maybe not the best WrestleMania. To me it's like, okay, that means, all right, I would have bought a ticket. You know, maybe not this year per se, me personally, but maybe how many tickets would you have purchased? How many people would purchase tickets? You know what I mean? To say like, all right, you know what, this is gonna be a good WrestleMania. Like you think back to the one that we went to, and that's the one that once in a lifetime, meaning it's a once in a lifetime where they build a match the year before. You know, so a lot of people bought tickets. You know, the next year, The Rock winning the title, and you knew he was going as WWE champion, regardless of who he was facing. So you bought a ticket. Last year, we thought we was going to get Orton and Batista. You know what? People said, you know what? I'll spend my money elsewhere. So then when you look at it that way, when you look at it the way this year, when you didn't think you was going to have a good main event, you know, people say, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. And that's the only issue I have. Just give me a good build-up like you used to. But as far as the show goes, it was put on very, very well.
I think it was, man. I think it put everybody said, "Oh, this is gonna be a weak card, not a good card." The matches were pretty decent. I mean, this was one of the few WrestleManias that I can recall that you go into out of the 8 matches that was on the card. At least 5 or 6 of them you didn't know who was gonna win. Mm-hmm. It was a toss up. You know, people say, "Oh, Reigns, Brock." I mean, I threw some polls on Google Plus, and 90% of the people say 90% of the people said that Roman Reigns was going to beat Brock Lesnar. I had another poll that was up. 83% of the people said that Sting was going to beat Triple H. How many of you were wrong? You know what I'm saying? And this is like 500 or 600 people who have voted on these polls. And by the way, check out Wrestling Marks Excellence on Google Plus. Check it out. They plug that. But it is people. You didn't know who was going to win. Fans would talk either which way, and that's what I love. Being a fan is like Christmas all over again. I stayed off the dirt sheets. Somebody was coming to me and said, "I heard Bray Wyatt hurt his leg." I said, "Whatever, okay, cool."
Yeah.
I heard they're gonna start the match with this one. I'm like, "Okay, cool. I don't want to hear it. Get away from me. Don't talk to me right now. I want to watch the match. If somehow, some way he's limping, okay, I know it's true. But guess what? Right now, unless this leg is gone, he's going to perform at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? They're going to start with this match. I don't care. I don't want to know what they're going to start with, okay? I just want to sit there, enjoy it, and be a fan and watch it.
I again was just overall going back over the night. And I know our time is probably going to be limited here shortly, so people make sure you go ahead and tune in tomorrow night to Perfect Plex Talk Radio on BDSRnetwork.com, our Raw After Mania pre-show. I'm deeming that right now as our new episode. And actually, people, it's the last episode of having my co-host, one half of the Franchise Players, Mr. Spotface, will be on the show, making his last appearance as he is moving on to bigger and well, not better things or bigger things, but just moving on to a different adventure in his life. So we wish him all the well there as well. But people, just make sure you tune into that as well and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, social media is sold at Mike Knox. But the night. I spent the day just getting ready. Like you said, Glenn, staying away from dirt sheets, trying my best to just talk nothing but positive wrestling. I didn't want to talk to anybody who wanted to rain on my parade because today is the day that I would not allow that. You know what I mean? How come the NFL? I like that. Was that Reese wrote this thing about the IWC? How come the NFL doesn't have their own community, or Major League Baseball have their own community? But wrestling fans, we're so who we are. We have a community, and we have a community that you want to fight with each other. The same thing I've always said, guys, about Xbox versus PlayStation, Apple versus Galaxy, Superman versus Batman. Why do we fight over things when we're all still the beneficiaries of great entertainment? They're all good. Why do we argue over things that are entertaining to us all in the long run, Glenn?
I don't know, man. I don't know why people want to fight over this stuff. I think enjoy being a fan. You know what I'm saying? When you go to a WrestleMania, if I spend $3,000, $4,000, I want to voice my opinion, but I'm not fighting the guy next to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not arguing about this. I'm not like, I know you in San Francisco, and I know close to Oakland, and Raider fan go crazy out there. But at the same time, and we in the stadium, when we talk about wrestling, I'm not gonna beat you down. I enjoy who I like. You like who you like, and let's be cordial enough to know what is entertainment at the end of the day. I don't see people fighting over who likes Denzel and Tom Cruise. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody fighting over that. It's still they're actors. So as a wrestling fan, I enjoy wrestling, whether it's good, bad, and different. You find out a lot of those people who fight about wrestling and fight about who this guy and that guy, or I don't like storylines. Can't nobody complain about tonight's storylines. If you complain about tonight's storylines or creative tonight, there was a problem. Yeah, the other 364 days you can probably complain about, but as I said it, and Wizard says it on our show all the time, let the storylines play out. All year is built for this night. You know what I'm saying? Everything throughout the year is built for WrestleMania. If you go back and look at Roman Reigns 364 days ago, it was built for WrestleMania. From Survivor Series, from the Royal Rumble last year to the Royal Rumble this year, it was built for Roman Reigns. It's been built for Seth Rollins to cash in. We never had a cash in at WrestleMania. This is the first WrestleMania cash in. It was with Seth Rollins. You never had somebody cash in on to make it a triple threat match. They cashed in on a champion, and that's a new stipulation I didn't even know. You could cash in on a match. You know what I'm saying? He didn't cash in on the champion. He cashed in on somebody else that was in the match facing the champion. So I mean,
anytime, any place.
Anytime, any place. So therefore, you got a triple threat match out of it. Hey, enjoy being a fan. Stop arguing with your neighbor and stuff like that. Don't want to see no wrestling crimes out there.
Yeah.
Wrestling crimes. You know what? People do that too. I don't understand why. Why do people? I will never, ever understand. Okay, this is why, if you guys haven't paid attention all night long, we talked about our beautiful wives and our children and our significant others, because you always say wrestling's always typecast. You know, people say, oh, wrestling fans are big fat guys who's on the internet at home and can't get a girl. Well, look in the mirror, guys. My wife is pretty goddamn hot. Okay, and for people to sit there and fight with me over my opinion. It's my opinion. I don't fight with you over Young and the Restless versus General Hospital. There's no reason to fight. You like what you like. They want to compare Power, right, to Empire. Two different shows. Why must I pick which one is better? They're both good. Again, like Apple and Android. I've had them both. I'm an Apple guy, but I'm not going to sit here and crap on Android. It's a good device for those who like that device. Listen, Daniel Bryan winning the Intercontinental title, best for business. Seth Rollins catching in the title, still kind of best for business, whether you wanted Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar or not. John Cena winning the United States title, best for storyline, because America has been getting pooped on for almost a year. He had to win the match. It had nothing to do with him burying Rusev. Undertaker coming back and winning. Go ahead.
Let's just take it like this, right? Brock Lesnar was on ESPN. Brock Lesnar was on SportsCenter. So, you know, everybody was waiting in the sports world. What's going to happen with this Brock Lesnar guy? You know, since he went back to WWE, all right, you know, if you're a UFC fan and you're a fan of Brock Lesnar, might not be a WWE fan, you was like, all right, you know what? Let me tune to WrestleMania. I can get it for $9.99. I can sign up, get rid of it the next day, right? When they did that, one of the things they did was by putting the title on Seth, eyeballs to advertisers. This guy had been built since, you know, since he's been getting built since the chair shot. Eyeballs to advertisers. He was on The Daily Show. How huge was that? You know, and now he can go out there and brag at the Jon Stewart and Jon Stewart's fans like, hey, you might have kicked me below the belt, but guess what? I got the title now. I'm the face of the company.
Don't forget, he's going to be on the Today Show in the morning.
Oh yeah, they did say the winner.
Yep. WWE champion will be on the Today Show. So
but not even that. How many people forgot about? How many people forgot about that? You saw Seth Rollins wanker or Johnson or whatever else you saw a couple months ago.
I mentioned that.
You forgot about that story already. People forgot about that.
Thanks, Glenn. You just brought it back up on a Sunday into Monday.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Glenn.
Guess what?
Thank you.
Somebody else was thinking it. I'm just saying what somebody else was thinking.
Hey, sorry to everybody out there that we did give the phone number to call in. It's not the Wrestling Summit's fault. We're having problem with the app that we use on here to take phone calls. We do apologize to all the fans out there as we're beginning to grow this summit. We do welcome all other wrestling shows. If you have somebody you want some content, Wrestle_Summit, submit them, talk to us on Twitter. We do have some fans out there on Twitter tonight that I'm going to get you out there to recognize you. But one of you I want to recognize out there is is Mr. J.K. from Iron Skull Productions, who just put out a good meme with Vince McMahon, and it says, "Who's out of touch now?" And I thought that was significant for the night, because all we constantly hear, each one of us on this panel, here in this summit, we always hear the negativity. And we are the constant fight against the negativity. That's what made this summit what it is, right? Because we all belong into a world of professional wrestling where we're constantly, like Mr. Main Event said, he got made fun of because he liked wrestling. You know, they picked on you for this, they picked on us for that, but for liking wrestling. But yet everybody likes wrestling, from your latest hot rapper and Wale to your UFC champion Brock Lesnar. Everybody loves professional. If Snoop Dogg likes wrestling, then who the hell are you? Okay, so that's first and foremost. But this is the place tonight. It's the time to be a wrestling fan, and I want to just thank you guys. I want to thank everybody on the summit right now for being a wrestling fan, for allowing me to be involved with you guys where there's no negativity. I don't have to fight for something that I love. On my own show in the barbershop, I fight for my product, and I like that tonight I don't have to do that.
How about this though, real quick? Seth Rollins, and on this date, February 4th. 2012 at 8:27, I'm assuming that's 8:27 in the morning, tweeted, "I will main event WrestleMania one day, and we'll change the world together." I remember around that time he also stated that he could be the man, he could be the face of the company, and people laughed at him. Look at him now. How about that? That's what's the best thing about being a wrestling fan.
But not even that, and people thought about it. Who would have thought Seth Rollins would have been champion before Dean Ambrose? Who would have thought Seth Rollins would have been champion before Roman Reigns?
Not I.
You know, a lot of people didn't think Seth Rollins would get there. Didn't think Seth Rollins would be.
I mean,
he was just a forgotten Shield person.
I'll say this. I was just say real quick. I know, me and my bro Dwayne Allen, we was going at it back and forth. I said Roman. I said Roman. I said, gee, he looked like $1 million, and then Roman went in, and I was like, oh nah. I said it's gonna be Ambrose. He said, I'm gonna tell you the dark horse, Seth Rollins. I said, why? He said he'd take all the hot spots. Look at TLC 2012, or was it 2000? Excuse me. What was one of them? 2012, and he's like, watch, she takes all the crazy spots. No, 13. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, my bad. I'm not Corey. I can't get the dates like that. I can get them out there, but I do it all the time. I gotta take an extra 2 seconds. Corey get it on instant. But and so I gotta say, that was the thing. I thought he was crazy. I was like, Seth Rollins. And sure enough, when the chair shot happened, look at what happened. I was like, okay, now I guess Rollins might. Some people thought Roman was going to win the belt, regardless of what. It's like, they could force him down out the rope. But when Rollins came out there, I was like, oh, he's coming away with it. There's no way he going to cash in and not lose. Cash in and lose.
Go ahead, Corey.
Here's my thing about the Seth Rollins comment. Two things that I saw way back when that kind of leaned me towards Seth Rollins being the guy of the Shield. One was him being the first NXT champion, which a lot of people don't know. He was the first NXT champion.
He beat Richie Steamboat, right?
Yes.
Second, B-Dub was right? Yeah. He Now the other part was leaning towards what B-Dub was saying, in that everybody else was booked strong way in the Shield. And it made me realize that, Seth's definitely going to be the guy then. It made sense, because everybody else was carving their niche. And you had Seth that was just the pure worker of the group. I said, this is the guy. Now, I'm already barring what I already knew of him in the independents. I'm going strictly off of his time in the WWE. First NXT champion, and the fact that he was booked as the worker of the Shield. I knew if there was anybody that needed the rub coming out of that group whenever they broke up, it would be Seth. Because Dean already had a character, Roman already had a character. Seth needed it more than the other two. So, not that he's, desperate or a bad work or anything, but I think the rub was needed for him, because the other two had already been exposed for, not exposed in a bad way, but exposed for what they were. Seth was still the enigma of the group. So now that he's the champion, we're really in for a good run with him. And if anybody is glad that he's got it, it's me.
You know, but like I said, I'm going to get back real fast, guys, if I can, if you will, to wrestling underscore summit. T_white_55 says, guys, tonight was great, but it does not excuse months and months of crappy, and that's the word I chose to use. He'd use another word, you know, taking the Browns to Super Bowl television. And to answer that, I said it. I'm going to say it again. I understand all of that. You're absolutely right. But if there's ever a time where you can say, forget that and let's get it right and enjoy the night, this is what WrestleMania to me is all about. And also to DJ Johnson, Twitter name is DiceyMan_IRep, says, where does Randy Orton go from here? I'll let one of you guys go ahead and answer that one. And then it says, does this victory even matter over Rollins now that you're over Rollins winning the heavyweight title?
Yes, I mean, to me, where did Randy Orton go from here? He just beat the world champion early in the night.
Right.
He beat the world champion early in the night. If not anyone has to say that I should be #1 contender, it should be Randy Orton. Why not come out Monday? I beat you earlier in the night, so I'm gonna beat you again for the title. Great match. Now this time you put a bigger stake on it for the title.
How many times have we seen Money in the Bank holders lose time after time after time again? It sets up so when they win the title, they have somebody to face. Now, like you said, Orton he beat the world champion. He can go out there and say, look, Orton can go out there and say, look, I want my title match. I beat you 1, 2, 3. Now I get my title shot. If he didn't beat him, if Rollins would have won tonight, then cashed in, Orton would be at the bottom of the food chain because, look, I already beat you. What I got to fight you for? And remember this, folks. Orton said it in his interview with Booker T. He never got his rematch.
You know what? Not just that. Year. Have we ever seen, and I know you guys are the historians, you know, me and my Aunt Mary get along too much sometimes. Orton versus Brock Lesnar. You know, because I can't remember seeing that match. They both were outstanding, you know, come up young guys who's never really crossed paths. So
I've been waiting for that match.
They're both can be #1 contenders because Brock gets his rematch because he's the champion. Roman has a gripe also because it was a one-on-one match that was turned into a triple threat match, and Orton because he beat Seth Rollins in the night. So tomorrow night on Raw is going to be very interesting on what they go for here. So all those months of crappy television, I'm going to say, wrestling fans, let that go to yesterday. As my wife would say, why are you bringing up old stuff? Let's focus on now. If it sucks from now, then we'll talk about that next week on next week's show. But for tonight and tomorrow, let's enjoy it.
Absolutely.
You know, my thing, and this is what I want to go to. I want to take it all the way back to the tag team division. The tag team division match. We have the Usos. You have Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. You have Los Matadores. You have the New Day, Old Day, Tomorrow Day, changing the gimmick.
New Day!
Change the gimmick day, whatever you want to change. When do we see? Is there room for the Ascension? Is there room for primetime players? Or is there room for Zack Ryder and insert partner here, whatever the case may be? Can the tag team, because this is my reason I'm asking this, because the Intercontinental title is being rebuilt, division is being rebuilt, the U.S. title division is being rebuilt, the Divas title will be rebuilt when somebody like Sasha Banks or Charlotte comes up. What can they do? Triple H, we talked about how Triple H has been successful. What can he do to rebuild the tag team titles? Everybody else is getting an overhaul. How about the tag team division?
I'm glad you said something. I'll just say real quick. When I said this yesterday, if Cesaro and Kidd retain the titles, I want to see them go on a super long run, and I just want to see them beat everybody because I feel like that's a good tag team, and they have great chemistry. They two people with chips on their shoulders, and it works. I love that tag team, man.
Here's my take on it. Tag team titles tying with all the other titles that we saw tonight. Reason why is because now we're seeing the two top titles of the division, even though it's only the tag titles, and the World Heavyweight Championship are now the young guys in.
I'm not hearing Corey.
Yeah, not
The
hearing
mid
you.
carders. I'm sorry.
You're not. I'm hearing maybe one word at a 30.
Yeah, you're fading in and out. But and so that's my thing with the tag team division. We got to see where
Okay.
it goes. Everything is getting rebuilt. Everything is getting retooled. Everything is getting fixed and fine-tuned for a new generation. Can the tag team title division get built? And it's not bad if the New Day, as Mike was saying. No Day. It's not bad if they get it. It's not bad. It wouldn't be bad if they had a feud. I mean, let's speak. Big E is a quality wrestler. Kofi Kingston.
But we're not talking about their ability. Their ability is awesome. I'm talking about as they are constructed today. They're down there with the Brooklyn Brawler.
They said together we got stronger, smarter, and faster, or whatever. But I don't see it.
Not at all.
I don't see what they told me they was going to do. I don't see it. And to me, it just looked like three guys was happy to be on the show. I wanted an edge to them. I even had one of my producers at work, who's a Caucasian male, say he wanted the Nation of Domination. So, folks, it's not just the black people that want it. He wanted it. He's like, man, I wanted to see the Nation of Domination. I thought it'd be great with those guys.
Hey, hashtag Black Wrestlers Matter. And I've been saying it for a while now. So I think it's funny how fans, black or white, can cheer for R-Truth, but not the No Day. You're the reason why I'm calling them No Day. Yes, I know they're corny and how they come out. I don't want to see a black preacher. First of all, that's just me. You know what I mean? Why can't they be built like a Kenny Kingston down in TNA? Why can't they be built like Moose over in Ring of Honor? I don't know. But as far as to answer your question, Glenn, about the Ascension, again, we talked about this, I think, on our first episode. I know Corey was here for that one. The fans killed the Ascension. What the hell did the Ascension do besides put the stupid paint on their face? If someone tells me one more time they changed their entrance, then you didn't watch NXT, and when you were cheering for the Ascension, you didn't know what you were getting. They do exactly everything the same now as they've always done, Mr. Main Event.
No, you just said it, though. What did they do? They didn't.
Okay.
They didn't do nothing.
But that's just it. The company. Go ahead.
Some things work better on a small level. Did you see what Emma said to Bailey? She said, "Look, all that hugging stuff. I thought I could do this on the main roster,
right?
And that's the same thing. Essentially, but I mean, they fat, out of shape. They don't look like they can beat anybody.
Connor does look like he's out of shape. I give you that. But I get what you're saying, bigger scale, smaller scale. And with Emma, I 100% agree. If you ask for a new tag team, if you claim, right, I'm only going off of what the fans claimed they were asking for, Mr. Main Event, right? They kept saying they knew them, they wanted them, right? So if you knew them and you wanted them, they did nothing different besides you boo them. That's the only thing that was different. And like I said, the stupid face paint of the upside down pyramids on their foreheads. But that's a wrestling show for a different day. Wrestling in the naughty. I don't know. Go figure that one out. But again, as we about to, I know we get ready to conclude, Glenn. I'm happy. I'm excited. I don't want to say like Mr. Main Event just yet. I said it earlier in the program. I'm going to go back and watch it. I've been glancing at it all night since we started the program. It was one of the better WrestleManias, and I will say this much. I was highly entertained. I expected to be entertained. I came in it to be entertained, and they did just that. Tonight, they did no wrong, and I dare somebody try to challenge that, and that's just me. If you say tonight was not good, I'm going to say what you always hate us saying, why you watch it in the first place. The Wrestling Summit was built for wrestling fans that be here who can't get a voice. The IWC takes over everything. You know I'm right. They take over everything. There's never anything for us, the true wrestling fan that love tonight. This is for you, at least for my half, because all the opinions and thoughts that are said here on the Wrestling Summit are solely of those said individuals and not everybody on the panel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And with your closing thoughts, your moment of the night, your moment of the WrestleMania night, and what you expect to see for the next 365. We start with Brian Water, Mr. Main Event.
Oh, man. My moment of the night. It's easy to go with Daniel Bryan, and it's easy to go with him in the Legends, but I got something that I wanted to see, and that was Seth Rollins cashing in his money in the bank. That was the moment of the night for me. We saw a guy from NXT be the NXT champion. Now is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's got all the charisma in the world. When Seth Rollins is on my TV for the past 6 months, I've been tuned in, and now I'm excited to be tuned in for the next 6 months.
Wizard, your thoughts, your moment of the night.
Yeah, it would have to be Seth Rollins cash in. Very well done, very well executed.
Got you. Hey, Mike, your moment of the night and your moment of the night.
By far, it was the DX and the NWO. Everybody knows, and Mr. Main Event, I don't know if you caught the pre-show. I finally admitted Sting is an icon. It took me a long time to get it in my. I was just hating. I loved 80 Sting, and I'm the fan that doesn't want to like what everybody else likes. You know what I mean? And I like liking what people don't like. And tonight was magical. And watching Sting in that ring, watching the entrance, watching the match, watching DX come out, watching the super kick, watching the NWO. And even though I wanted to see the NWO kind of turn on each other, or X-Pac rip off the DX shirt and have the NWO shirt, some other antics that could have took place, I was 100% sold, invested. My family was invested into that match, and I literally marked out more than anything. I think I marked out for that more than I did at WrestleMania 28 chanting Undertaker Triple H. I really did.
I mean, that's my moment tonight. And the Shawn Michaels, just seeing the super kick, Shawn Michaels and Sting in the same ring with each other, and thinking about what could have happened, what it could have been, what could have been. Do we see? Will we see a Shawn come back? I doubt it. But could you see Shawn and Sting get it on? I doubt it will ever happen. But it was a good moment there. That was a mark-out moment for the night. And actually see Brock Lesnar bleed was a mark-out moment, because you don't see that too often. That was a moment for me, like, oh, the Beast really does bleed. You know what I'm saying? The Beast does bleed. Was a mark-out moment for me. Hey, it's great to be a wrestling fan. I'm almost 40 years old. I still love wrestling. So what? Hate me, love me. I got a nice house, wife, and kids. Whatever you want to say. Guess what? Doing some things. That's right. I'm not a 42-year-old virgin who loves wrestling. So everybody's not like that. And I'm also an African-American man who like wrestling as well.
Real quick, I got a question from our callers and viewers. My boy Brandon Ryan, who's always in the realm, he wants to know, what do you guys think? Which NXT star should, if any, should debut tomorrow night? I'm gonna let you start with that, Corey.
Well,
Corey or Adrian Neville.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's either going to be Adrian Neville or Charlotte. I'll put it that way. Adrian Neville.
All right. I take next. I take next over that. I think Charlotte. I want to see Charlotte debut next. I'm not too concerned on Adrian Neville. I think he needs a gimmick. He's not big enough for me. I don't know. Everybody sold on his high antics, his moves. I don't think WWE's gonna let him do all the high flying stuff on the main roster. So I say Charlotte.
I guess to be the walking contradiction that we all are, I gotta agree with the big stage and the little stage kind of syndrome again, and say that Aaron Neville, I don't think he needs a gimmick. I think he's fine, but until I think the WWE creates a division for those guys again, that he will get lost in the shuffle because of that. So I'm going to agree with Charlotte as well. If the Divas division is going to take an uplifting, it needs to continue to have these girls come up to give it an uplifting. We've pulled the Women's Championship up out of the trash. Let's throw the Divas Championship in the trash.
You guys, even if I wanted to disagree or go in a different direction, I can't. Not on this one. I have to go with Charlotte. Just to add, we seen Sasha Banks, beat Charlotte clean. Now it's time to say, okay, she beat Charlotte. Now she's showing that, hey, I can hold it down right down here. Let's put Charlotte on the main roster. We can get Natty and Charlotte. We can get AJ Page. The Divas division is going up. Mike wants to call it the women's division. I'm 100% with you. Let's do that.
Hey, let's do it. Hey, fellas, let's close this thing out, man. Appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. Hey, enjoy the rest of your WrestleMania night or early morning. Hey, on this week on Wrestling Marks of Excellence Radio, we have Hall of Famer Luke Williams from the Bushwhacker, who will be on the show straight off the WrestleMania weekend. Will be on the Wrestling Marks of Excellence this week. Maybe he's not licking our heads or nothing like that, but come to tell some stories, as well as his WrestleMania moment and weekend. So check us out on Fox Sports Radio 1340. Hey, if that's it, hey, Wizard, take us home.
Hey, if you're not confirmed, consider yourself denied.
I heard that!
End of story. Good night.
Now
Good
that's
night.
main event.
Woo! You don't like it? Listen anyway, y'all. Peace.
Woo!